think, you know what it is? I think my hair is letting me down. You know when you have a bad hair day? When you have a bad hair day, that's it. Your whole day is ruined. Oh my God. Anyway. Well, firstly, I got some new shoes. And, ooh, they are so bright and yellow. And, yeah, these are my new shoes. Obsessed with them. Actually, I've got an orange pair which I have pretty much ruined. Yeah, so these are my third pair of APLs, and I love them for jogging. I love them for walking, but mainly for jogging. Walking around all day in them, you will start to get a bit of a sore foot because they are just really made for jogging. Really does support your foot, and yeah, gosh, they're bright. I'm just going to turn down the brightness so you can see them. Oh, does that make it better? But they're fluoro. Anyway, guys, that's my little treat that I bought for myself about a month ago. So yeah, well, I thought I'd do a video today talking about a traumatic experience that happened to me very long time ago. It has to do with whitewater rafting. I actually had the idea to film it while I was talking to a colleague of mine at work. So I'm just going to do a get ready with me, just using some makeup. I'll tell you about the story and what happened, and yeah, if you're interested to hear, please stay on and watch and get ready with me if you like. But anyway, I thought I'd just do some makeup, so let's get into it. Now, microphone is on. Excuse the hair, it is a mess. I do need to do my roots, and yes, I do have grey hairs coming out of the hairline. Some years ago, I'm just actually going to be going in with, this one here is by Nars. It's the light reflecting foundation in the shade Vienna, and I'm actually going to be mixing it in with the De-Bronzy drops by Drunk Elephant. Some friends had decided, let's go on a whitewater rafting trip. I'm just applying some De-Bronzy drops as well. When I was doing the trip up there, I was like, oh yeah, you know, we're going to be with experienced people to, you know, show us how to do whitewater rafting. And I really wasn't that keen on doing it anyway, but you know, you tag along. And so anyway, we get there and check in, and the guys are like, oh yeah, you know, we don't really need anyone professional to take us down if it's a sort of a cruisy river. And when I mean like cruisy river, like one that's not really rough with the white water. We took our kayaks and we were given all the instructions, you know, if you fall out of the boat, if you fall out of the kayak, you know, just let go and go down the stream. Don't try to go back up the stream, just go with the flow sort of thing. And that's what we did. We were like, okay, let's not have anyone professional take us on this whitewater rafting trip. Let's just do it ourselves. And I was not impressed about that at all. I'm like, we're with people who've never done it before, and they're thinking that they can actually do whitewater rafting for the first time and not expect anything to happen. So we board the kayaks and we start beginning our trip down the Amazon River. To me, it was like the Amazon River. Like, it was rough, white water. It was not a nice, gentle stream that it was made out to be. And I'm thinking, I'm going to die in this today. That's it. That's going to happen. And, yeah. So we get in. I, you know, buddy up with one of the other guys. And actually, my ex at the time, he wanted to go solo. He just wanted to go in a kayak himself, solo style. So he did. And yeah, we set along our way. We're going down the stream. Now, what am I going to do to blend this out? e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush to blend out this foundation. So we're going down the stream, and I'm like, oh yeah, so far so good. A little bit, you know, wobbly here and there. There's no steep descending cliffs going down or drops going down into the rocks. So I'm like, okay, so far so good. And everything is all well, and until we get to this rocky patch. And I'm like, oh shit, here we go. We are gonna go down a bit of a dip. I could see most of the other, you know, couples sort of like, they made it, but they were like, you know, wobbling. And I'm like, oh God, here we go. Well, I was not holding my breath. Well, actually, seriously, no, I wasn't holding my breath because I was panicking. The person that I was with was also fretting and not very confident. Why would you put someone scared like me to begin with, who really shouldn't have actually went on this in the beginning, now in hindsight when I think about it, with someone that's also scared? I mean, it's a recipe for disaster. So we go down, the boat topples over, fall out of the, not the canoe, the kayak, and the other guy is trying to catch the kayak. And he's like, Julie, quick, come, swim down to it. I couldn't. He was traveling down with the kayak down the stream, and I couldn't. I just could not go down. I couldn't let go. I couldn't just go with the flow. No, I did not want to do that. He managed to get a hold of the kayak, managed to sort of stand upstream, but then he sort of got the kayak back over itself because it was upside down. He turned the kayak the right way around, and he got into it. Now, at this stage, he's like, swim, and he's going down the stream, mind you, like he's in the kayak going down. He's expecting me to flow down with him and go into this thing. He's off, he's gone, and I'm left there in the middle of the river with the water just gushing down. And I managed to not go down because I managed to stick my leg into one of these rocks that was in the river, and I was sort of like stuck there in terms of like, so I didn't need to sort of like go down with the stream. Just blending that down the neck. I started to swim to the bank, the shore bank, where, well, you know, where the other side of the river bank, pretty much. I started to swim towards the river bank, and I made my way to the river bank. I just couldn't get over, and there was this tree hanging over the edge of the riverbank. It had a big branch, so I managed to grab that branch and pull myself out of the water and up onto the riverbank. And when I made myself up over to the riverbank side, it was full of like, it was just pretty much like swamp, like very marshy type, quicksand almost, because it was just very wet, very dense shrub. And don't ask me how, but I managed to walk probably about, I don't know, 10 meters right into the thick of it, in what you would probably call like the forest thick area of where the stream was. Now, I just didn't know where else to go, because all of a sudden I really was starting to sink further and further into this very wet, sort of thick sand type sand. And I thought, this is no good, I have to stop. And I managed to climb into a tree, and I was sitting in a trunk of a tree, and I could see the white water just trickling down, you know, rushing down, and all I could hear was the white water. And I'm thinking, how am I ever going to get help here? I'm stuck in a tree. It was probably about nearing 6 p.m. It was summertime, so it was daylight saving. And I start screaming for help. And I'm literally like screaming at the top of my lungs, help, help, like, you know, just, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking, the news crew's gonna come out. Where's this missing girl? She's been here. Got to look for her. And literally everything, the worst case scenario, I'm thinking, I'm gonna die out here tonight. I'm gonna be staying here overnight in the tree. Maybe, and I was just praying like other couples would be going down the stream. So an hour goes by, maybe 2. It was getting dark. It was starting to get dark. I'd say it was about nearly like 8 o'clock then. I think we've done with the foundation. So I'm just going to go in with concealer. I'm using the Mecca Max Life Proof concealer. Well, I did have a life proof jacket on, so that's a good thing. We had to wear them, and, you know, for safety, of course. I'm going to blend this out with a buffing brush. I've got the sirens happening. Anyway, I'm thinking the worst case scenario, right? So I'm here stressed out, not being able to move from this tree. I'm screaming still for nearly 2 hours at the top of my lungs, help. A miracle happened because out of nowhere I see this hand climb out of the shrub, like out of the bush, saying, "Here, give me your hand." And I'm like turning around behind me. I'm like, "Where are you? Who is that?" "I'm here." And they're like, "Yeah, just jump out and give me your hand." And I just grabbed this person's hand and I just fledged myself out of the tree and jumped down, and there was this 14-year-old boy who said, "Are you okay? Just follow me." And I'm like, "Oh my God, thank you so much. How did you know I was here?" And he's like, "We could hear you from the other side of the river bank." I said, "Oh my goodness, I am, I was just traumatized literally, but so happy." Anyway, this poor boy led me through the shrub and the swamp of where I was and took me to his parents. I was saturated obviously from the water still, and put a blanket over me, and I was literally like rocking, like doing these ones like back and forth because I was just so stressed. Anyway, then I see my ex running down and he's like, "We were looking for you. I was trying to come back and get you. We could hear you. We didn't know where you were. So I'm glad you're all right." Anyway, that's the story, guys, okay? I was literally so scared, and I have never done a whitewater rafting thing ever in my life after that. I have another story which I'm not going to tell in this video. It's about a time where I went skiing and never skied before. Have you guys had any traumatic experiences like that? I mean, do you attempt to do it again, maybe with a professional, to try and conquer your fear of it? I don't have any interest to do that. I've been there, I've done that. I don't have the interest in doing whitewater rafting. Yeah, it looks like so much fun. Maybe one day I may do it, but only with a professional, not with anyone that's inexperienced. I'm just going to be using that concealer over the eyelids because I put too much. I must say, telling a story like this while doing makeup is very distracting. I'm finding it like you have to multitask because I'm talking about something that's not related to makeup, and yet I'm doing my makeup. So apologies for all the stumbling. I think it's an art. I think the more you do it, the more you get, comfortable with it. So I'm not one of those people, unfortunately. But yeah, I can't ever forget that experience. And that whole night I was just thinking to myself, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much, God, for helping me, for saving me, that boy for saving my life, and thank you for my lungs for screaming out, because I think I must have screamed seriously for about 2 hours non-stop. So I'm feeling like the makeup's caked on a little bit. I'm going to go in and get a damp beauty sponge and just sort of shear it out. Damp beauty sponge, shearing out that application. So it just takes a little bit of the makeup off and shears it out. So if you find that your makeup's getting a little bit cakey, a damp beauty sponge will do wonders. Drop a little bit of that on my brown spot there. I'm just going to let it sit for a while. Okay, now I'm going to go in with some eyeshadow, and I'm going to be using 2 different palettes today. Naked 2, Naked 3 palettes. Starting with the Naked 3 eyeshadow palette, I'm going to be going in with a flat brush, and I'm putting this shade all over the lid, this shade here called Liar, which is that one there, Liar. All over the lid, but not right up to the brow bone, just all over the main part of the lid. Is that not a beautiful shade? Then with the Naked 2 palette, I'm going in with this, the shade called Busted, which is a very deep dark brown shade right there. Busted. I'm just putting that on the outer edge of the eye, just for some definition. Just like that. If you get some fallout, just go in with the damp beauty blender and dab it in. It will be fine. Well, I just dabbed in my concealer there, so it's sort of erased that brown spot a little bit. With that same colour, I'm just getting the brush and lining underneath the outer edge of the lower lash line, just for a bit of smokiness. And then going back in with the Naked 3 eyeshadow palette, I'm going in with the shade here called Factory, which is the shade next to Liar, that one there, along the rest of the lower lash line. Okay, so that's pretty simple with the eyeshadows. Now to top it off for a bit of glimmer and glint, I'm using the Fenty Diamond Bomb All Over Diamond Veil. This one here. And I'm just actually using my finger. It's very, very sheer, if you can see that. Very, very sheer. I think I need, am I like, this is going to be an interesting video. I just realised that I'm moving in slow motion. Anyway, I'm going to post it anyway. Just putting a bit of that over the lid and up to the brow bone. Isn't that pretty? Eyebrows are done already using Milk Makeup Kush Fibre Brow Gel. Just put a little bit on the tip of the nose, a little bit down the centre, not too much. Oh well, maybe I did go a bit overboard. Bit on the Cupid's bow. Time for some bronzer. Actually, we'll do the eyelashes first. I'm going to pause the video, do my mascara. I'm not putting on any eyeliner yet. I think this video is turning out to be a disaster, but anyway, let's just go with the show, right? As they say, the show must go on. Now, I'm going to be using some bronzer. This is the Mosaic bronzer by Essence. And yeah, I don't know if this is a bit slow motion. I really have to adjust the settings. It's probably going to be a write-off video, but it'll probably, we'll see what happens. I don't know what I'm talking about at the moment, but I'm just dipping into the Essence bronzer with my stippling brush and bronzing away. Nothing like a good bronzer to just make you feel sunny and sprightly. Bit on the nose. What is going on? I've got a black mark on my face. I've got a black mark on my face. I can't get it off. Oh well, it's staying there. It's staying there and I don't care. Okay, I'm going in with some blush and I'm going to be using an oldie but a goodie. This is my Dear Dahlia in the shade Infused. I'm surprised it didn't break because I dropped it earlier, so I'm very, very surprised that it didn't break. Blush brush by Real Techniques and putting that on the apples of the cheeks. What is this black dot? Ugh. Anyway, I think it's from my mascara, and it's not mascara, but I think it's from black eyeshadow. black alien maybe? Who knows. Anyway, it is what it is. Okay, I'm so glad that this video is nearly over, because now all we have left to do is lips. And do I have a lipstick shade to use? Maybe. Urban Decay, and this is the liquid lip in a shade called No Restraints. It's a beautiful sort of berry shade. Overdrawing a little bit of the lips. Really am sorry for this storytelling thing. I don't know how to tell a story. I tried to do I had a thing in my head thinking, yeah, I'll tell a story while I'm doing my makeup. And it just goes to show that practice will make perfect at some point if I decide to continue down this route. Anyway, I have makeup on now. I feel a little bit better. My hair, I think, you know what it is? I think my hair is letting me down. You know when you have a bad hair day? When you have a bad hair day, that's it. Your whole day is ruined. Oh my God. Anyway, I will see you all again next time with some fresh hair. Bye for now.